Welcome back to the channel. My name is Luna. I'm so happy to have you here. And we are going into another speed build, but this is also a speed build that is part of the most current shell challenge that we're doing in the community. If you ever want to be a part of any of the shell challenge, be sure to check out one of my links down below, whether it be TikTok, Twitch, Discord. Those are the different ways that you can contact me or see when I'm posting about a new shell challenge. I believe this is the 6th one that we're doing, and the last one was spring related. This one, of course, is summer related. Mine specifically, I wanted it to be along the lines of a beach house. I love the thought of just being in the ocean all the time, the blue, beautiful water, the dolphins, just, I'm ready for summer. So one of the things that I did was I did everything on the outside. I told everyone that is doing the builds that you can change the roof, you can change the wall height, you just cannot edit any of the outside walls. You can do any outdoor landscaping, and you can do any floor plan inside. I went ahead and did the roof on the shell challenge because some people asked me to, but then I also left it open to say, hey, if you don't want this type of roof, or if you don't want to put this lot on Sulani, because it doesn't have to be on Sulani, then you can change that. I wanted to give them the option because I know some people still don't have city living or island living, not city living, island living. But any of my challenges are still in the gallery. I don't take them down. So if you ever want something to do, I put all the rules in the description and go have some fun. But we will be touring these live coming up whenever this post. Hopefully you've checked out the live of us touring them. But I had a lot of fun doing this. I haven't built a lot in Sulani because honestly, I don't dislike much about it. I don't know. I adore a lot of what is around on the island, and I don't feel a need to touch much, but I will be doing every lot when I come around to Sulani when I'm doing my specific save file, which I don't know, I may save it for last because, like I said, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not 100% sure. We already did one updo, and then I think there was 2 islands that I actually put a club on and some other things. But as I was going through with this build, we did this live on TikTok, and my idea was I didn't really want it to be like, I wanted it to be a home, but as we started going along and kind of putting things around, I felt like it was more of a vacation home. So I ended up making this lot a rental, so you could come out here and have parties, enjoy with your friends, more of like an Air BnB. And that was the vibe after I kind of started decorating it. And when I got to the inside, left the floor plan very, very open. And I just envisioned Sims literally getting together, having dance parties, whether it be out on the sand, you know, getting in the boat, you know, jumping over the edge into the water. But I really just felt a lot of partying was going on here, especially when I put that deck out there and it looks out to the water, a beautiful view. And it is more of on one of the lots that is a private island. So that really gave me another idea as we were talking in chat, and we're like, oh, you know, it'd be awesome if you could get an Airbnb and have your own island. And I was like, done. We're going to have our own Airbnb island, and so that's what we made it as. So again, with any of the shell challenges, you can make it a home, you can make it a retail store, you can make it any type of lot that you would like. I think some people did leave it off the grid, because when I went and put this on this island, I didn't realize that it was all off the grid. I mean, it makes sense, but I never built on this land. So if you want to turn the off the grid off, it's completely up to you. I ended up turning it off because I put appliances on there that were not suitable for off the grid, because I didn't realize it after the fact. But other than that, I actually love this little spot of the island. And as I was doing stuff to kind of like have that view of the water, because that's really one of the main focal points. Like my vision is where the dock is for the water. That is the front door, because when you look out from that angle, that's where the mainland is at, and you have to swim to get to this island, or a boat. And so my vision is that's the front, but when you look at it in the gallery, the other side is the front, so that's technically the back, what I call it. So what I did in the back was when I was first making this for people to actually live here. Like, oh, they live on their own private island. I had this vision of they weren't 100% off of the grid, but because it was so far away from the mainland that they did have to do a lot of their own planting and, getting their own food. So I do make the back area a little bit of like planters and very floral and green, actually, so they can actually kind of do their own thing without having to go to the mainland. That was the vision that I had. And of course, when it switched over to Airbnb, I mean, in my mind, I still have that thought, because like when you come to this area, you have a place to at least grow some things, or if things are already growing there from previous owners or from the owner. So, because like if you're there for a weekend and you plant something, it's not going to be ready by the time you leave. So it's still, you can still use it long term, I feel like. Or you can turn off the rental aspect of the build there. So there's always that. But I did have some fun using some aspects of packs that I don't know I've ever touched, honestly. And it does make it a little tricky when you're building on sand. I have the same thing when we go to the desert, because I want to use greenery and I want to use flowers. I'm like, this is sand, right? Or this is clay. Like, this isn't grass. But what I felt saved me was that little area over in the corner where there's a bunch of rocks and there's greenery, and there is some like shaded in grass, coming from that area. So I was like, okay, so I can get away with this. We can kind of pull all of this in, see what we got going on from there and make it work. But in the end, I did really enjoy doing the landscaping of the slot. I tried to tell myself to branch out and do something different, and I want to do more of the terrain tool and really make that a lot more livable and just looks like, you're living it, you're walking in it. So I probably spent a lot more time in this, my quote-unquote backyard area than I probably should have, but it was actually really just refreshing to play around with the different plants that I had, try to make it look a little bit more just flush. And when you have open spaces like this, me personally, it drives me insane. I'm like, okay, this is way too open. And I think that's why I do a lot of, not really smaller builds, but I end up putting a lot of rooms in my builds, because I don't like having just open spaces. And I just feel like it's nah. But IRL, I love houses that have room to do activities. So trying to transfer my brain over that the Sims would probably enjoy it too, then it's okay to have space. But I don't know, when it comes to the outdoors, just having a blank like yard, it just feels weird. I haven't seen too many yards that are just blank. Like there's something out there somewhere. And now that I think about that, I'm pretty sure my own parents' backyard is completely empty. But when we were children, it was not. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think there's anything in their backyard besides trees. But still, it's something. I end up using quite a bit of plants from Strangerville. Strangerville actually has some plants that I feel fit in really well with Sulani. And I was like, oh, this looks like a native plant. Just the color, very tropical. So I was really shocked. We were actually to use an array of plants, and then I got one from the desert. Why can I not remember the name of that world? It's the one that comes with the base game. I don't know why it's escaping me. I just call it the desert because I never go there. I never build there. I think I've built 2 houses there, and they stick out like a sore thumb because it didn't dawn on me that I was in the desert. And so I was just like doing the greenery like it was no one's business. And you would think the tan sand, was a giveaway that something wasn't matching here. And then when I was done, I was like, why does this look so weird? I was in that builder zone that I just kept going with it. And I was like, this works. This is fine. This is manageable and it's understandable. But yeah, I think I still play the house, honestly. I actually use the house in some of my videos I use of Erica. If you've watched a couple of videos, you know who Erica is. And yeah, I don't know why I chose that house specifically. to do these videos in for her, but I did because I don't really play it. It's actually a tiny home. But as we're putting everything together and I start getting inside the house, I start looking at the floor plan and I'm like, man, like I like how open the house was, but a part of me was still like, man, I don't want to put a bedroom there. I don't want to put a bedroom there. And so I ended up using our lovely platform tool and raising up a section of the floor and making it a room. But when I hit the Air BnB idea, I just had this idea of beds in this corner nook area, and it was just there. So it's a bedroom, but it's different. And there's only one bedroom, but there are 2 beds. So that's why I don't really see living here, and it is a rental location. But I feel like, you know, you could pull out the sleeping bags. You know, get a bunch of people here, pull out the sleeping bags. You're going to have to sleep on the couch, or someone's going to fall asleep on the towel outside. Like, I feel like this would probably be a really good party area for those who love to party and just have a good time. Did I even put a bar in here? And now I think about it, I don't even think I added a bar. Which in my process of doing this, I was literally thinking about partying, but then I didn't put a bar in here. So that's just my mishaps. But hey, you could still have good parties without a bar. You know, those of you are probably like, wait, what? Huh? But one thing that I did do, I did put together the laundromat that is in here. I made it into a room. And so you can get this room in the gallery. One thing that I wanted to do, though, I wanted this build to be very colorful and just very vibrant. And I really love the prints that I ended up going with. Now, this does show up as CC because I didn't, like, I realized that I used a sliding door, the one I got from 6 a.m., but it says that I used something else as CC. I don't know what that something else is, but I was showing off this barnyard door that I put on this bathroom. And then I didn't realize that it was still there when I was done with the build. So when I took it off and it still said it was CC, I was like, I don't know what it is. We're keeping the sliding door. And so the barnyard door stays. But it does show up as CC. So if you do want this, you'll have to click the custom content check mark. But I don't think it's anything big. If anything, you will have to replace that door. But I looked all over this house and I was like, I don't know what else could have possibly been CC. But sometimes the game does say something is CC and it's not. So it could just be a glitch. Just make sure you hit the custom content. If you want to check out everyone else's builds, just type in hashtag Galaxy Summer. And then you'll be able to see everyone else's build and what they've done, how they've created them. Like I said, me doing this voiceover right now, I have not seen any of the builds yet. We're going to be doing the tour, the shell tour in 2 days. 2 days from me recording this. So I have not peeked. I haven't looked at anyone's. And we're starting to put together another build challenge, which I'm super excited about. It's a little different and a little bit more focused on specific Sims. So I'm really excited to see that, but that will be further down the line. Going there. One thing I don't think I did, I don't think I put this bathroom in the gallery. This bathroom, I probably spent more time on putting the shower together, and it's not like a crazy shower, but it's self-made shower, and I knew I wanted to have the jacuzzi bath in there because it's a vacation spot. You have to have stuff that you don't normally have in your house. So I put this bathroom together, and then I realized, I was like, there's no place for me to put a sink. There's no place for me to put a sink. So I was like, crap, I gotta think of something. So I did put counter space. I wanted to use that standalone sink because I liked it and it went with it. So it's not a typical shaped happening bathroom. I don't think I put it in the gallery though. But I think it is a nice bathroom, and I may go back and end up putting it in the gallery. I haven't made up my mind yet though. But yeah, this build was just me trying to inspire to honestly do things I don't normally do, colors I don't normally use, prints I don't normally use, and I feel like I branched out a little bit more, trying, because I have these visions in my head, and then when I go to the game, some days I just cannot find what it is I'm looking for, and so we just manage and make it work. I will say this, I'm not a fan of a ton of the prints that come with island living, like the house siding and stuff like that. So I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I want this house to look like on the outside? But eventually got it to work. I'm not 100% in love with it, but it's acceptable. Like, I think the outside and how I got the landscape and all stuff kind of just made it work. So this is what I was talking about when I was putting together this little room. I had to take the posts off because the sim wouldn't walk in the room. They couldn't get in the room with those posts being there, because I wanted it to look like, clearly, those are there for a reason. But eventually I didn't put anything there, so it might look like they're floating, but at that point I was like, you know what, it's a video game and it's okay. And I honestly forgot up until this point I was watching me do that. So even when I was playtesting it, after I was done and kind of got everything situated, I didn't even notice that nothing was quote unquote holding it up at that time. But yeah, that one was probably the easiest room I've ever done. Probably the easiest bedroom I've ever done. This kitchen struggled a little bit, because I knew I wanted there to be an island, but I couldn't like pinpoint what kind of an island. So we made a very interesting one with shapes I don't normally use, because of course this is the build of doing things I don't normally do. And it ended out okay, honestly. So what I do is I end up making a kitchen with an island. I don't think any of those pieces are an island that you can actually sit at, so they're good for cooking. And then I end up putting a little like breakfast nook corner table back in the back corner by the back door or front door, whichever way you're looking at it. So you have an in-home kitchen dining area to, quickly sit at while you're sitting there cooking in the kitchen. And then I do put out more of a quote-unquote formal dining room just outside of the kitchen. So it has extra seating, especially if you're having a dinner party and people over. So there's room for everyone to at least sit comfortably and eat, not just, sit on the couch, or, you can sit outside. There's more than enough seating outside. So that's why I really see a lot of people being in this location, especially if you're having some type of a party. Now, I don't know, can you use a rental spot when you're having some type of event? I'm not 100% sure, because I actually don't go on vacations. It's not a thing that I do. So I'm not 100% sure if you can like have events at rental locations. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you 100% know, which most of you probably would. There's quite a few people that actually go use like vacation spots in The Sims, and I'm over here like, yeah, just delete them. We'll put a retail shop there. We'll put this here instead. We'll make another house. So I'm going to try maybe do some vacation things in my gameplay. So we're going to be coming up on the screenshots in about a minute or so. I really enjoyed doing this. I want to say thank you to everyone who participated or has been participating in any of the in any of the shell challenges. And like I said, check out all my links that are down below. I do stream on Twitch and TikTok. Many of the 100 Baby Challenge and our Teen Runaway Challenge is on Twitch. And then I do play a lot of other simulation games. And we have community nights with the people that want to play games with us as well over on TikTok. So I would love for you to join. And my gallery name is down below if you want this build or any of the other builds in the Shell Challenge. Thank you to everyone entering. I know they probably look amazing. I've seen so many people progress over the 5 to 6 months that we've been doing these, and it's just been a lot of fun. So I appreciate that. Be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. So you can stay in touch. We can all stay in touch. Have a good time. And I'm just looking forward to a lot. I'm looking forward to hitting a lot of different milestones. I appreciate everyone that has been here in the channel. We've come a very, very, very long way. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the finish of the speed build get going. Oh, and one thing I want to say, you can never have enough plants. If you ever have any dead space in your build, grab the plants. They can't die. So if you don't have a green thumb, it is okay. Because I do not, but as you can see here, those plants just filled up empty spaces. It was exactly what I needed. I've been getting really well at not over cluttering, because that is a thing. But it depends on the type of space that you're using. And of course, Sulani has vibrant greens, vibrant color. So we pretty much took this wall and just made it a array of green and plants. And I think it actually filled up really, really well. So that is enough of my time. I thank you guys, and have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. And this is Luna, Galaxy out.